by the band.
Well, Eric, good win last week.
Yeah.
The kids come out, they played, they took control of the game early, and it was just pretty much a cruise after that. You know, your defense made some plays when they needed to, and you kept Josh Lyon somewhat under control. You know, he got his yards, but you didn't get him in. He didn't get into the end zone.
Yeah, you know, we kept, and, you know, we talked about this last week. You know, defensively, we had to do a better job, and we challenged our kids all week. And again, as a coach, you know, the things that's neat to me is to see when you challenge these young men and how they respond to those challenges. Instead of taking that as something negative, they took it as something positive, and they challenged each other. And it was a different tempo, it was a different mindset than it was the week before. And our kids have got to understand that that's the way we go and compete. You know, I would love to have seen us play that way a week before that, with that same kind of attitude and that same kind of tempo, and just to see where the game would have gone. But I was just proud of the way that we handled those things, especially on defense. I thought offensively, we did a great job, and again, there were some things that we could have done that we could have maybe got into the end zone a few more times had we done a few things that we had talked about, but there were some things we didn't want to show to give another team time to prepare for. But yeah, just all in all, it was a great win. It was a great job, and we beat a very good Canton South football team that has a very good quarterback and very good skill sets.
In the second half, I know you don't like penalties. No coach does. That out of bounds penalty on the far sideline, I think it was for excessive celebration.
Yeah.
That really seemed to fire the defense up. South did
especially one young man, huh?
Yeah, especially one young man.
Yeah.
South seemed to do nothing after that. The defense just said, and really that turned out to be a big play of the game.
It did, and you know, we've told Austin, you know, that, honestly, that it was nice to see some of the plays that Austin Bentley can make, because he is such a phenomenal athlete and such a great defensive lineman. And I think he's been trying to work on some things that we've talked about for him for college, as far as getting depth and doing some of that stuff. And I kind of think he's been trying to be so disciplined that sometimes he's lost the fact of just getting the motor and getting after it. And when they got that penalty, I think the switch just kind of went off, and he got after it. And man, he was fun to watch play. And I hope we can get that out of him again for the rest of this year. And again, once that happens, we have such a fast defense. If the defensive lineman can get pressure, we're going to get to you some way, shape, or form. And so yeah, you know, we did a great job. And sometimes that's how those things work. And sometimes it just takes an emotional spark, and you can take things over. So.
Well, it doesn't get any easier.
No.
You're going to Louisville this week. Carrollton's never won in Louisville, and they've taken some pretty bad beatings up there before.
Yep.
And surprisingly, Louisville's 0-4, or 4-0 rather. I'm sorry. And you know, early on, people thought, you know, when Duckworth went down, they wouldn't be worth, you know, anything. And all of a sudden, his replacement stepped up and did a great job.
Yeah, he is. You know, I guess I'm not surprised at all, because Louisville's Louisville. They don't really drop off; they just reload. And to me, when he went down, we knew that they were going to find somebody to take that spot. And you could see early on they kind of had some close games. I think because when we're watching the film, this kid that's taken over the quarterback spot was struggling a little bit to figure things out. And as the weeks have gone on, he's figured it out. They are a very good team, and I will say that probably the best team we've seen thus far. They have a great defense that flies the ball, very aggressive. They have an explosive offense. They've a handful of guys that can make big plays at any point in time, and they've done that against some big opponents. But the reality is it just like I've said every single week, it goes back to us. If the best Carrollton team possible shows up, it's going to be a fun game to watch, and people are going to be proud of Carrollton, one way or the other. if the Carrollton team doesn't show up, it can get ugly. But I'll say this: if the Carrollton team shows up and they don't, it's going to get ugly, and we'll take control of that too. So I hope they're ready for a fight. I hope they're ready for us, and I know we're ready for them. And that being said, I'm excited. I've told our kids, you don't become a great team until you beat some great teams. You know, and at some point in time, if we have aspirations and goals to do special things with this program, eventually we got to be able to handle these kind of moments and these kinds of teams in this kind of environment. Because part of the Louisville thing is playing at their place in that environment with the fans and the sound and the scoreboard and the turf and everything that goes along with it. But I think our kids are excited about it, and our kids are ready to face this challenge. And I'm just excited to see if we show up and we give them heck. So.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Eric.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure, and good luck Friday night.
Appreciate it.
Go Warriors.
Thanks. Go Warriors.